If your summer makeup routine is aging you, here are the simple fall makeup switches that you need to make that are going to instantly elevate your makeup and give you your youthful glow back. My name is Michelle and I'm a professional makeup artist of 14 plus years, and I help women over 30 simplify their makeup routines because I believe that makeup doesn't have to be so complicated. I'm going to be sharing some of my top makeup switches for fall that are going to instantly elevate your makeup look and make you look so much more youthful and instantly awake. And I'll have all of the product details listed down below, as well as a couple of my other favorite recommendations. And if you're someone who's needing help with your makeup routine and choosing the right colors for you, I'll also link down below my color match form. It is a free color match form. You just answer a couple questions, submit a makeup free selfie so that I can pick the best shades for you. All of my color matches are guaranteed, so if for any reason your shades don't end up working out for you, I'll definitely help you troubleshoot and fix them for free. If you want to learn what fall makeup switches you need to be making to your routine immediately, then let's get right into today's video. The first swap that you're going to want to make is taking your matte tinted moisturizers and switching it out for a more glowier and hydrated finish. As we start heading into cooler weather, our skin starts to dry out and looking for moisture, and using super matte formulas can really enhance excessive skin texture, fine lines, wrinkles, and just make us look a lot older. So you can leave these behind for the summertime. I like using a more hydrating foundation formula like cream foundation. I find that this not only looks like skin, it also feels like skin, gives you that hydration that you need, and gives you that beautiful lasting glow that is going to be super trendy this fall. But before we apply any makeup onto our face, we want to make sure that our skin is nice and prepped. If you don't have this glow going on after you apply your skincare, that means that your skin is not hydrated enough, and what's going to happen is that your skin is going to take any of the hydration from your hydrating makeup and create a patchy finish and even enhance texture. One of my favorite products to apply before my makeup to make sure that my skin is properly hydrated is this Plush Prep Mist from Saint Beauty. This is infused with tons of skincare benefits that help to soothe redness, helps to hydrate the skin, has hyaluronic acid and glycerin, which are amazing for making sure that your skin stays nice and hydrated, helps to calm down the redness, helps to soothe the skin, and gives you a hydrated finish that's not sticky. So we're going to spray this on. And if you want more control, you can apply it on a sponge and then apply it onto the face. That way you make sure that you cover every single area. I'm gonna make sure that's completely dried down. So once the skin is nice and dry, we're gonna go into our foundation and even out the skin. I mostly focus this on the areas where I need the most coverage, where things are looking a little bit blotchy. I need discoloration, especially underneath my eyes. And I love using this fluffy brush. This is called the Shape Brush. I like to use this one in the summer a lot because it gives a very light finish, but this is also a great brush to use even in the fall. It still gives pretty good coverage. It'll help you not to apply too much makeup and keep that natural skin finish. So you can see how it's evened out our skin tone, but it literally looks like I have nothing on, versus this side here where I literally have nothing on. Now that our skin is nice and evened out, the second switch that you're gonna want to make, it's not really a switch, it's more like adding in a product, adding in contour into your makeup technique. I don't know about you, but in the summer, I absolutely love bronzer, and I tend to wear a little bit of concealer and bronzer and just call it a day. Because our skin gets so much color from the sun, we get a little bit of tan, so it kind of evens out any distractions or discoloration on our face, and all we have to do is minor tweaks. But as we start losing some of that color, we also lose some dimension too, and contour is a really great way to add that dimension back into the face and kind of give us some structure again. Plus, usually in the fall time, I tend to wear more bolder look, so this is going to really help to balance the rest of our makeup so that it doesn't look like something is missing. So I'm just going to place a little tiny bit of that contour above my cheekbone right there to go ahead and add some nice definition. Using that same exact fluffy brush, I absolutely love this because it gives a super subtle wash. And don't be scared of using a dark contour, especially when you're using creams, because creams blend into the skin really nicely, and this specific formula is a little bit more of a stain type of a formula. So when you pick it up, you're gonna feel that it's not really super creamy, and that is intentional, so that way you're not applying too much and you're just getting a little bit of a natural shadow. I find that if you go too light with the contour, it's not gonna really do much, and it might even give you an ashier finish, and that ashy finish is going to make you look a lot older. It's gonna make you look tired. It's just not gonna look right, and it also won't last all day. So don't be scared of the darker contours. They actually look really pretty and natural, especially when you apply it with a fluffy brush like this. Speaking of bronzer, the third switch that you're gonna want to make is switching out your matte bronzers for something a little bit creamy creamier and glowier. I love using this bronzer right here that has a little tiny bit of shimmer. You can see how it has that glow. So it helps to give that same sun-kissed finish that we got during the summertime. In the summer, we tend to use a lot more matte formulas because we're sweating, it's hot, we're trying to control that. Matte makeup usually tends to last a little bit longer in the heat as it starts cooling down. And again, our skin gets drier, it needs a little bit more of that glow. So this bronzer is called Xanadu. It is from Saint Beauty. It is the perfect shade to give you just the perfect amount of color, and it truly does look like you were just kissed by the sun. If any bronzer was ever going to be a sun-kissed finish, it's definitely this one. I just apply that right above my contour with the fluffy side of my brush, put a little tiny bit down the center of my nose to add that little sun-kissed look. And I'll even use this as a super quick and easy eyeshadow. It just adds so much more depth and dimension and gives us that color that we tend to lose as the weather starts getting cooler. A little tiny bit on my chin and along my jawline, because here I lose a lot of color. It gets kind of pasty there. I don't know why, but I feel like that's a really common thing where people get really light in this area here. I absolutely love pink and peachy blushes as much as the next girl. And this summer, I definitely was very into the super pink and intense blushes. And although these will still work year round for a more natural finish, I find that the deeper or berry tone or even brick tone blushes work a lot better for the fall, because again, it really helps to give us the color that we tend to lose that you would get from being out in the sun. So I know these blushes look very intimidating, especially this one right here. You're probably like, whoa, that is super duper intense, but I promise you that this will give you the perfect amount of color and give you those warm fall vibes too. So this is called Fig. It is a cream blush from Saint Beauty. I love applying it with that same fluffy brush. I really do love this brush a lot with these bolder colors to get a more natural look. You can see that does not look quite as intense. This is also a semi-gloss formula, so it is a little bit sheerer than satin or matte formula. So you're going to get more of a wash of color versus it being super duper intense. So if you're super scared of bold colors like this one is going to be the perfect blush shade for you to get that fall glow. And I'll even put some down the center of my nose, again, to create that sun-kissed finish. A couple of other shades that I really love that you should definitely check out. This one is one of my favorites. This one's called Sandstone. This is more of that satin formula that I was talking about. So you can see when I swipe it right next to there, there's a lot more color payoff. It's like a bricky red color that is just perfection. Then I also really love this shade here called Renaissance, which again is one of those satin formulas. And she's a little bit more of a deeper berry red color. I absolutely love this. And I know she looks intimidating, but again, when you apply it with a fluffy brush, it is a little bit more sheer. And because it's a cream, you can definitely play with it. And then the last one that I absolutely adore is this shade here called Purple Rain. Honestly, I wear this year round. It looks super intense and crazy. You're like, that purple blush, I would never wear that. But especially on olive skin tone, this just gives the perfect pinky flush. It looks more like this when you apply it on the cheeks versus this. So don't be scared of that intense bold blush. But if you're wanting something a little bit more natural, this shade here called Black Cherry that looks crazy, but is actually a gloss formula, super duper sheer. This is actually one of my favorites to apply on the lips during the fall time to just give me the perfect wash of color without being too intense. So I could definitely help you pick out your perfect blush shade. If you check out the details down below, that's gonna work best for your skin tone. The second to last swap is switching out your powder formulas. So a lot of people use the same exact setting powder year round. And as we get older, our skin starts to dry out. And really what our skin wants is it wants hydration. Hydrated skin is youthful skin. So keeping that glow and hydration to the skin is gonna really help to give you that youthful finish. And I know you're probably looking at my face right now because she was very well prepped and she's super duper glowy, may even borderline look a little bit greasy. And maybe you're thinking, man, I'm a sweaty Betty. I don't want my makeup to look even greasier throughout the day. This is the look that I want. I want it to be glowy, but I don't want it to look greasy. And I actually have a technique that I absolutely love to do. So I start off first by applying a little bit of setting spray, and I'm gonna just do one side so that you can really see the difference. And again, let that dry down completely, because if you put powder on top of wet setting spray, it will turn cakey and almost turn into a paste, which isn't what we want. Use a sponge to press in my makeup, make sure I pick up any excess, and also press in that setting spray. I'm gonna just use a fan to finish drying that off. So I have two different formula powders here. This one is a a matte powder and this one is a hydrating blotting powder. So the difference between the matte setting powder versus the blotting powder, the matte powder, it's exactly that. It's going to be more matte. It's going to absorb any excess oil and shine and get rid of all the glow on your face. So it's going to make it look flat and matte, which isn't a bad thing. It definitely is something that I like to achieve for either hot days or longer days, maybe a little more glam look. It's going to give you more of that airbrush flawless finish. And then we have this hydrating blotting powder. So a blotting powder is going to help to absorb the excess oil, so all the excess shine that we have on the face, while still keeping that glow that we want. So it's going to be a little bit more intentional of a glow versus it being super duper shiny. It's also going to help to lock in the moisture in the skin, lock in your makeup as well, and help it wear while still giving you that beautiful glow. This is my secret weapon for getting long lasting glowy makeup that doesn't look super greasy but still looks hydrated. And this is the perfect powder for anybody who is over 30 that deals with dry skin, deals with texture, deals with fine lines, wrinkles. That hydration is going to help to plump up the skin, which is going to help to give that youthful finish. So we're going to go into the brush that I've been using this whole entire time. Start off first with the matte setting powder. Since I am more on the oilier side, I love doing this technique where I make the center of my face matte. So where I have larger pores, where I might have more sweat, where my face moves a little bit more, that is where I want to keep it more matte. I'm going to use a smaller brush for the smaller areas, larger brush for the larger areas, and I'm going to actually leave my under eye because we're going to set it with the other powder. And you can already see the difference. This is starting to look a lot more controlled. We just have that glow right there versus this side here that is looking still very glowy right here. And I find that if you keep the center of the face matte, but then everything else glowy, it helps you to still have that glowy appearance that will last longer without it looking super sweaty. So then I'm going to go into the blotting powder. And the reason why I'm using this underneath the eyes versus the matte one is because this is going to help to keep the under eyes looking nice and hydrated, which is going to help to prevent creasing, keep the makeup looking nice and smooth, and not enhance excess skin texture. Because sometimes when we put matte powder or we have a lot of lines and wrinkles, it will basically dry out the area, which can enhance those lines. And I'm going to use the larger side to go ahead and set down the rest of my makeup. And as you can see, it kind of toned down that glowiness, but it didn't get rid of it completely. It's just the smallest, tiniest bit. And when I touch my face, that's the biggest difference maker. My skin no longer feels sticky. It doesn't feel tacky. It feels like there's nothing on my skin, which is what we want. And I'm going to go ahead and set the rest of my face with that hydrating powder. So the hydrating powder is going to go more on the outside versus the matte powder is going to go on the inside. Now, if you are someone who is completely dry, I would definitely recommend using the hydrating powder all over. Matte powders are going to absorb excess oil, excess hydration, so it's going to make the skin look a lot more dry and it will enhance skin texture. So just keep those things in mind. The last swap that you're going to want to make is for eyeshadows. So this is only if you wear eyeshadows. I know not everyone does, but during the summertime for me, I don't really wear too much eyeshadow for the most part, especially if I'm gonna be outside, because if I'm sweating and stuff, it might get in my eyes and I just don't want to worry about that. And also because, again, since we have more color and we're more tan in the summertime, we tend to have a little bit of a more natural eyeshadow that tends to fade away as the seasons get colder. So I love using berry tones, richer tones, darker tones during the fall, and you can keep this super duper simple. One of my favorite pro tips is using similar eyeshadow shades to your blush shade. It's going to create a more monochromatic look that's going to make everything look really cohesive and make it a lot more effortless. Create a super simple berry look. We're going to start off first with this shade here. This is called Lullaby. I'm going to just pick up the smallest, tiniest bit of this, and since I already have that bronzer on my eyelid, I already have a base going on my eye. So I'm just going to place this right on top of that, bring this down, and we're going to do a super effortless 2-shade eyeshadow look that I love to do during the fall. It just makes it look like you put way more effort into your look than you actually did. Use the smaller side of the brush and pack that eyeshadow onto the outer corner and anywhere else that you want to deepen it. And that's just going to make the color a little bit darker, give it more dimension, while not having to use 1,000,001 different eyeshadows. Then I'm going to go into this shade here called Cranberry, and I'm going to use my finger to go ahead and apply it. This is one of my favorite shades for the fall and even the winter. It is so stunning. You can see it's this beautiful pinky purpley look that goes perfectly with that Lullaby shade. Adds the perfect amount of dimension to the eyes and really makes it look like you put more effort into your makeup than you really did. Again, don't be scared of these deeper tones during the fall. I know they seem really scary, but if you do the right techniques with them, it's going to really help you to create the perfect fall makeup look with very minimal effort and not look like you just got punched in the face. I'm gonna bring a little tiny bit of that Lullaby shade on my lower lash line, especially when I'm using darker colors. This is the non-negotiable for me to just help define the eyes without using eyeliner. And then we'll finish off with a little bit of mascara. And there we have the finished look. She's looking glowy. She's gonna be lasting. She's giving fall vibes, and I am absolutely here for it. I'll have all the product details listed down below, as well as my free color match form. So if you need help choosing your perfect foundation shades, be sure to fill that out below. And if you're someone who maybe has a ton of makeup, doesn't really know what to do with it, doesn't really know what are the right switches to make, I've actually created a super incredible tool for you. It is called my Glow-Up Genie. You submit a selfie to it and answer a couple of questions, and you can totally make it fall coded and answer the questions according to your fall makeup needs. And it will help you not only create the perfect fall routine for you, it will tell you what things you're doing right, what things you're doing better, give you product recommendations. And if you have certain products that you want to use, you can even ask it if those are the right products for you. And if they're not, it's going to recommend the right products for you so that you can stop wasting your money on things that just don't work anymore. If you're interested in getting your glow up this fall, I'll have my Glow-Up Genie linked down below for you. And if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, share it with your friends who need to glow up their fall makeup routines, and subscribe because I have so much amazingness planned for you in the future, so you definitely won't want to miss out. So definitely let me know what fall makeup switches you're gonna make first down below in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.